watching the recording. Today I'm doing 20 minutes of live stream where I will be answering your questions. So for those of you who are here or who are already joining, please type in your questions into the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. Today there is no specific topic, even though I have one in mind, but I need to go, or I want to go home at 10, so it's just 20 minutes live stream. After that I will finish it and I will probably cover the topic which you've probably been hearing about in the news in my next live stream, or Thursday, or maybe when we know a bit more information, because the news seems to be big, but actually it's not really that big as I can tell. So now doing the live stream. So guys, those of you who are here or who are joining, please ask your questions and I'll be happy to answer them within the next 19 minutes or so. Sounds of nature, hello, hi, sounds of nature. Can you do some sound of nature? Like, woo-hoo, woo-hoo, something like that. I know I cannot hear you, but anyway, so guys, if you have any questions about Czech immigration, meaning visas or residence permits or health insurance, accommodation, trade license, bringing your family, studying in the Czech Republic, whatever, just put it into the chat and I'll be happy to answer. So, Jeff Starboy, I finally got my last week after waiting for 5 months. You mean, I guess, your visa. So, in that case, congratulations. Subash, hi Subash, thank you for joining. Michelle, I hope I don't mispronounce it, but I would say French name, so Michelle sounds correct. Hi, nice to see you here. So guys, I'll be yours for another 18-20 minutes. So if you have any questions, please ask. I'll be meanwhile drinking. This is not a beer, this is Matoni water with no sugar, just flavored. I like drinking it because if I cannot drink, if I don't have the mood to drink water or anything, this is a good thing which I can still drink. Prabin, hi sir, hi Prabin, thank you for joining, and guys, please start your questions in the chat, and so I have something to answer. Yeah, perfectly pronounced. That's a natural talent and 37 years of hard work. What was the topic of today? Today's topic is Q&As. So if you have any questions about immigration, I'm trying to kind of move the way that you don't see the light. Okay, this looks better with the plant on the back. Yeah, so the topic of today is, you have any question, you type it into the chat and I answer it. I'll be here doing this for the next 17 minutes, so go for it. If you have any question regarding anything related to moving to or living in the Czech Republic, ask, and if I know, I'll be happy to answer. There is one topic I want to cover, which you've probably seen in the news, that some specific news that some nationalities will be able to live in the Czech Republic and work here freely with no visa required. These 7 or 9 or whatever was the number nationalities. That's bullshit, obviously, but I will talk about it when I get a bit more information. So probably Thursday or maybe some other live stream. But yeah, okay, so there are questions coming. I work in music tech, by the way, so I can help you with your videos and sound. Well, if you have some easy fix, I'll be happy for that. Otherwise, I'm not doing this to like grow the channel and make money through that. It's more about answering questions, because this topic is not really covered by anyone reasonable. There are people who do similar content as I do, but no one in this, like, I don't know, scale, let's say. I've made 400 videos about immigration topics. I've been in the business for 12 years. So I hope I know what I'm talking about, and I try to like give it to you in the way that you understand it, and I don't use any complicated terms, and I don't say how it should be in the law, or I say that as well, but I also say how it is in real life. I say both of the things because there can be pretty big difference in that. So I do it. If you have an easy fix, something you can bring to our office and it will make my videos like 30,000% better, then of course I'll be happy to do that. If I have to do something regarding that, then not really. Settle say, finally after 6 months my visa is approved, congratulations. Mohit Kumar, hi Mohit. Prabin, if my dlouho visum was denied, can I apply again dlouho pobyt without refusal letter? Well, if you don't wait for the refusal letter, then you don't know why it was denied, and then it makes no sense to apply again because you don't know what was the denial reason and you don't know what to fix. So I would definitely wait for the denial letter so you know. Because again, I've said that before, and I say to all people who contact me regarding the same situation. If you've been denied because you've falsified some of the documents, you used fake documents, you are internationally wanted terrorist or whatever, you will never get a visa, so it makes no sense to appeal, makes no sense to apply again. If you've been denied because of something you said, might be difficult as well, but probably fixable. If there was just some mistake in your documents, you didn't submit something or it was incorrect, no problem with applying again. So it depends on the reason, and you will only know the reason once you get the denial letter. Michelle, is summer the best time to find apartments in Prague? I would say yes. Yes, in terms of the competition not being that high. There are not too many people moving, so because everyone's enjoying holidays and everything. So there is not that big of an offer. On the other hand, there are not too many people looking. So it's actually a good time, because if you try to look for an apartment August, September, October, that's the highest relocation season. So there are plenty of apartments available because plenty of people are moving back and forth, but they're gone like this, really the same day. Many of the flats, if you see a flat online, tomorrow it's gone. So you need to be very fast and it can get pretty stressful. Now it will be definitely a bit less stressful. Juan Samuel Escura Cardozo. Hi, I already have my employee card approved. Is there a time limit to pick it up? Well, not really. There are time limits after you come here, how much time you have. Or anyway, if the employee card was approved, you go back to the embassy where you applied and you will get a special visa. This visa allows you within the next 6 months to come here for 60 days and finish the process. So there is a limit, and then also after you come here, you need to go to the ministry within 30 days to get registered, and then after you do your biometrics, I believe you need to pick up the card within 40 days, otherwise it will be cancelled. So there are some limits after that, not really a limit to go for the visa to the embassy. On the other hand, I would definitely not delay it much, because A, your employer might change their mind. And that pretty much sucks if your employer tells you, okay, we don't need you anymore. And I don't know how long you've spent on this will go to hell because you haven't come here like fast enough. Another thing is that, yeah, you should pick it up in a reasonable like timeline. So if you're thinking like to pick up this week, rush and pick it up this week or next week, okay, probably doesn't matter. If you're thinking about picking it up now or like 6 months from now, yeah, that's pretty significant difference. So hopefully this helps. Kiran Telukunta. How to invite live-in partner to Czech? What do you mean live-in partner? Like you are an unmarried couple and you want to invite your partner here, or do you mean anything else? Usman Zia, according to the information, after 1 year you can convert the driver's license. Don't know what it's relating to. Was anyone asking about driver's license? I don't see any question like that. Jeff Santos, if I'm only renting an apartment and I'm required to pay for the waste collection fee here in Czech Republic. Hello, and by the way, hi Jeff. Someone already asked me this question. I hope it wasn't you some time ago, because honestly, I don't know. Honestly, might be only required from the owners. On the other hand, if the owners do not live there and you live there and you use the waste, they might ask you to pay for that anyway. So honestly, I don't know if you have to do it also just as a tenant. Subash. I got all the documents ready for my appointment on 24th April except the PCC and bank letter translation. I have them with apostille. Will the embassy give extension to deliver the missing documents? Oh boy, guys. I don't know. I'm getting really angry reading these things because you obviously come here. You've obviously watched my videos. You've obviously listened to me talking about these kind of stuff, and you still make the same mistakes, guys. And then you are so surprised that you never get an appointment. You paid someone for a work permit, even though I've told you like a million times don't do it because it's a scam and you will lose your money. And you do it and you lose your money, and then you come here and like cry that you cannot get an appointment. This is the same thing. Like, why are you getting an appointment if you don't have all the documents? Okay. Anyway, so I'm getting angry because this really kind of pisses me off. But anyway, to answer your question, depends on what you're applying for. If you're applying for a long-term visa, the embassy will not accept it because application for a long-term visa must be submitted complete. So they will not take the application. If you're applying for a residence permit, they should accept it and they should give you time to deliver the missing documents. But it's up to them how much time they give you. So they can give you like 3 days, and if you don't make it, they will deny the application or actually not even like accept it. Or they might give you some reasonable time. But it also depends on the embassy where you go, because some of the officers might tell you, hey, we will not accept it. You don't have all the documents by. And you will hardly discuss with them because you don't know what law you should quote and what paragraphs of the law. So definitely not a good situation if you're going to an appointment 2 days from now and you don't have all the documents. Might work out, but definitely will be stressful for you. And I don't recommend anyone doing it this way, that you apply for an appointment and you don't make sure you will get all the documents ready by the appointment day. That's a very kind of, why would you do that? You know, you go to the embassy, they will be pissed at you, they will be pissed at everyone else because like, why are you getting an appointment if you don't have the documents? They will make it more complicated for everyone. They will make it more complicated for you. You will be stressed. So like, anyway, whatever I said, that stays, but I just don't understand this. Arka Prabha Mayundar. Ahoy Jan, I got my study visa. Congratulations. Hopefully the studies will be worth it. Yeah, unmarried couple. Well, so it depends on where are you from and how long have you been together and if you can prove it. You cannot, if you just want to invite them here for a short period of time, you can do an invitation letter and invite them for up to 90 days. That's completely fine, not a problem with unmarried couples. If you wanted to move them here, you cannot do it under family reunification because family reunification only applies to married couples. But you could potentially try to apply for the other visa, and you would need to try to convince the ministry that you have really been in a long-term relationship, serious relationship. You just decided not to get married, but other than that, you are completely like married, and they could potentially give you the other visa or your partner, but that obviously has some disadvantages, like for example, no access to the labor market. So you will be able to get your partner here, but they will not be able to work. So kind of question if it makes sense. Subhash, as you said in a video that you are offering consultation, pay to face-to-face interview questions and the visa process, does that scheme still exist? Yeah, but not really if you're going to an appointment like the day after tomorrow. Or all our immigration specialists are usually booked for at least a week in advance. So of course we can prepare you for the interview, we can check the documents, but it needs to be arranged at least a week, ideally a bit longer in advance. Michel Nassar, Michel. Do you recommend learning Czech, and are there good classes for international at night or weekends? I've actually made a video about that. It's called something like Should I Learn Czech? So if you go to my channel and just search for it, you'll find it. Well, I would say it depends on what's your long-term goal. You know, if you're coming here first, like it's kind of in my opinion, it's kind of respect to the country where you like plan on living to at least show some effort. So from this perspective, of course. From another perspective, Czech language is not really the most useful language in the world. So unless you plan on staying long term, probably makes not much sense to invest a lot of time. But I would definitely recommend learning at least the basics, because that will help you in the beginnings. And if you want to stay here long term, then I definitely would recommend learning, because I know people who've been living here for 10 years or even have families here and they don't speak Czech after 10 years or whatever. And I just don't understand it. I don't know. I'm somehow angry. So guys, sorry if it's nothing personal against you. I just don't understand it. You know, if you live 10 years in the Czech Republic, and it can easily happen, okay? You come here, if you come here and you don't know how long you want to stay, you can easily end up staying forever. If you come here only for a year, you know, okay, I have a 1-year project and then I'm going back somewhere else, okay, that makes no sense to learn. Just learn the basics and it's okay. But if you plan on living here, or if there is a chance that you will stay here for a couple of years, definitely learn, because if you don't, you're missing so much. You're missing like so much. Imagine if I moved to France and I didn't speak French. Like I would be missing everything basically. You know, all the history or all the jokes, all like anywhere I go, if I go to smaller cities, smaller towns, what I will do there, what you will do here without Czech, or like jobs or friends, you will be always limited. Okay, I wanted to say limited to some group of people. You will be always limited in everything you do. Okay, let's say Czech Republic has 100% of things to offer. If you don't speak Czech, you will be dealing with like the 20% things the Czech Republic can offer. The 20% that can be offered to non-Czech speakers. So you will be missing a lot. So definitely, yes, learn Czech if you plan on staying long term. That will help you a lot to enjoy the experience. Rahil, hi, my question is, if I did change of employer for company A, and once it is approved, then can I do it for another company B without joining the first company A? Okay, yeah, no, I don't know, I'm, okay. Well, technically yes, but there are plenty of like reasons why you shouldn't. First, you need to still be within the 60 days. So if you left a job, you only have 60 days to find a new one and report it to the Ministry of the Interior. If you fail to report that, your employee card will be cancelled if it's the standard employee card. So if you applied for a change of employer, that definitely took some time. So you only have a very limited amount of time left probably at this point. So that would be very risky doing that. Second, it has some rules. Like if you send a new change of employer, it kind of deletes the previous one and stuff like that. So you need to be aware of a couple of things. Second, if you do this once, okay, the ministry will be fine with that. If you do this 2 times, 3 times, then the ministry will start asking questions, and that's usually what you don't want from the ministry, to ask any questions. So if you change employers, like think it through before you do that. Make sure that you really want to work with that employer and just stick to it. And change maybe later again after 6 months or I don't know, a year, when you see that it's not exactly what you wanted to do or what they promised or something. But don't really change right after before even joining the previous employer. That would be my advice, but technically you can do that. Usman Zia, my blue card was approved last week and I have a fingerprint appointment on the 13th of May. So when will I get the card? I'm planning to return to my home country on the 7th of June. Is there any possibility of receiving it before then? It depends. Like if you have fingerprints, meaning like you go for the biometrics at the Ministry of the Interior, then you usually get the card within 2 to 3 weeks. So you should be fine for the 7th of June. If you mean like a different fingerprinting, like maybe at the embassy still, then it's probably not gonna work out. Hakan Cup, I hope this is not a silly question, but I couldn't find the answer. Is Tribali Pobit and Blue Card are the same thing? No. Blue Card is it's a long-term residence permit based on employment. Permanent residence permit is a permanent residence permit, which means that you can stay in the Czech Republic permanently, while the Blue Card can give you up to 3 years of stay, and permanent residence permit gives you plenty of advantages. If you don't know what exactly Trvalý pobyt means, go to my channel, search for Trvalý pobyt or permanent residency, and I've made a couple of videos about this topic, so you can watch it and you will understand what Trvalý pobyt is. But it's way different. Trvalý pobyt is a game changer for everyone living here long enough. Blue Card is a good, solid residence permit, but definitely not a game changer. Fajin me, I will just finish. Oh, there are so many questions. Okay, so I will be faster because I want to go home. Fajin me, Temitop. Would it be polite or professional to speak a little bit of Czech language to the visa officer during my interview in Nigeria during communication with the officer? Yes, it will definitely, or it can definitely help. It kind of goes together with the rest. It will have not much of an impact if you are not fluent. It will not help you much. But it can help set up the mood. If you go there and say, Dobrý den, jak se máte? To máme krásný počasí, like, hello, how are you? It's a beautiful weather outside today. Then it might help to set the mood, and they might not be that hard on you during the interview and during the process. So definitely can help. Not like it will change the result, but it can make it easier for you during the submission. Antonia, is it worth to pay a lawyer to find the proper information about how to apply for a job in different EU country with Czech PR? Each country has its own rules and they're often unclear. Yeah, definitely yes. I definitely think you should speak with someone. There might be free lawyers, like in some NGOs in that country, so you don't have to necessarily pay for a lawyer, but I would definitely recommend speaking with someone who knows. Because it's your future. This is another, like this today's live stream makes me angry. So I was probably angry before. It's not like your fault, guys. But this is how people get into trouble. That they do something, just relying on the information they found on the internet or a friend told them or something, without verifying the information with someone who actually knows what they're talking about. And that's how people end up in trouble, and often very serious trouble. So yes, I would definitely recommend, based on the country where you plan on moving to, contact someone in the immigration who knows the rules and who can actually tell you what you should do, because it can really prevent you from a lot of trouble. If you move there, you start working because you read somewhere you can, and then some Czech comes there and they tell you like, hey, you're working here illegally and we're deporting you back to the Czech Republic and you will have trouble with the immigration there as well. That's definitely not worth it. So yes, invest a couple €100 to find out like exactly what you need to be so you can sleep calmly. That's my opinion. Labaik Ya Rasul Allah. I'm from Pakistan. I'm a student here at Brno, Czech Republic. My degree will be finished in June and I have received permit till end of August. I want to stay here. Is it possible to extend it? Well, once you stop studying, meaning once you graduate, you will no longer be a student. So you definitely have to change the purpose of your stay. You have to apply for some other type of residence permit. So if your program was accredited and you were a proper student, then you can apply for the job seeker residence permit, which will give you additional 9 months to look for a job or start your own business. So if it was an accredited program, definitely do it. If it wasn't an accredited program, then you have to switch to something else, but definitely ASAP, because the ministry, I've seen the ministry really making people trouble for staying here under the student visa or student residence permit after graduation. Because after you graduate, so if you graduate in June, you are no longer a student because you finished your studies, but you're still keeping your student residence permit, which is kind of abusing the residence permit because you have a student residence permit, but you don't study anymore. And the ministry really questioned that a couple times what I've seen. So definitely switch to something else depending on the accreditation of the program. Usman Zia, second question, my friend, had a visa interview for study visa, and the embassy has called for another interview saying they want to confirm some points. Should we be worried about it? Yes, definitely you should be worried about that. If they invite you for a second interview, how much worried, it depends. It can be some more questions about your motivation to study, some more questions about the school, the program, all that. But there might also be some problem the ministry found, and you can never really know. We can guess. We've done some consultations about this, but then we need to really dig deep into the situation and see what could be the problem. Because they can find some problem with the accommodation, especially if you paid someone to get you the virtual proof of accommodation. There can be a big problem with that. There can be problem with someone you maybe didn't mention that you had a visa before, or you didn't mention that your brother lives here. And these are all kind of suspicious things that basically the ministry thinks you hid them from there. So it can potentially be a problem. But sometimes they just want to ask you some simple questions, and if you answer them properly, they will approve the visa within a couple of days. Sometimes it can indicate some problem. If it was a big problem, they would have denied the application. So good thing is that it's probably not like something super serious, because otherwise they would deny the application right away. But you need to be careful, and you should try to figure out what it might be before you go there. Nimrod Hunter G, is it hard to find job right now? I have Czech passport, and how much salary is needed to live in Prague? Well, I've done a video about how much salary is good salary. I've done it 2 years ago, I think, so it's even higher now. Honestly, finding a job depends on what you can do, and what you bring to the market. Like if you cannot do anything, it will be difficult for you to find a job. If you are a software developer, you can find a job like this. If you don't mind working in a call center and you can speak 2 languages, like besides Czech, you will not have a problem finding a job. So it depends on what you want to do and what you can do. As for the salary, I would definitely not recommend going below 50,000 crowns gross. Reasonable living, in my opinion, starts at like 50,000 crowns net. Because a studio will cost you between 17 and 20,000 crowns. So if you're earning 30 net, then you have 10,000 crowns to spend, which is not really much money for food and for travel ticket and internet and all that. So I would be looking at least at 50 gross, ideally 50 net. Gagu Bali, hello sir. So last 3 questions, I finished that and I will go home. So 4 questions, okay? Moen G Art Studio is the last one. Subhash, for long-term residence permit study purpose, if I try to convince them about this situation, is there a possibility to get an extension to deliver the missing documents? Yes, if you're applying for a residence permit, by the law, you have the right to submit the application incomplete, in which case the embassy has to write a letter to you saying what you are missing and saying how much time you have to deliver it. If you deliver it within the time, they will send the documents to the Czech Republic for the decision-making process. If you don't deliver it in time, they will deny the application or not actually even accept it. So yes, if you go there, they make some trouble and you are really applying for a long-term residence permit, you can tell them, hey, you have to accept the application. Don't say that you have to accept it because Jan said so, but say that they have to accept it because the immigration law says that, Immigration Act, and you will see how it goes. Let me know, maybe it will be interesting. Melek, I'm in Czech long time and I still can't find job. Do you know agencies help foreigners to find job, please? Actually, Saturday, 2 days ago, there was a big job fair in Prague. We were taking part in that. We had a presentation there. We were talking about exactly this, how to find jobs and stuff. So how to live in the Czech Republic, how to get employed. So pity you were not there, but there are some other job fairs in Prague as well and in other cities too. So I would definitely recommend those. As for some agencies helping with that, I could share some. We are not affiliated with any, so I don't want to share their names just in case they didn't like that. But if you get in touch, I'll be happy to send you some names of the ones we've previously worked with. Samuel Konduach, please, I have get work permit from Czech Republic. Can you please help me to get the visa? If you were here a couple minutes ago, you would see me angry because this is exactly what I was talking about. I don't know where you're from, so maybe you have a chance, but in most cases, getting a work permit is a scam. You've been scammed. Congratulations, you've spent a couple €1,000 for nothing. Because in most countries where you can buy the work permit, there is no appointments available, so you can actually never use that. And the agencies that offer you that work permit, they either know that and they're just scamming you on purpose, or they don't know that, which is even like sadder, I think. Probably not even sadder, but equally as sad. So most likely from Ghana, yeah, I would need to double check the quota there, but I'm pretty sure that the quota is either 0 or very close to 0. So the chances that you will ever get an appointment and that you will ever get the employee card are very low. I would need to see the details, but most likely you've been scammed, sorry to say. Mo and G Art Studio, hi, I'm from Kenya. Is it possible to have a second job with the same employment card? Technically yes, but you always need to ask the ministry to approve it, and you must meet some requirements. So you cannot have like 2 full-time jobs. You can technically have like 2 part-time jobs or 1 full-time job and a smaller job, but they need to meet some requirements. You, for example, cannot have like DPP contracts do not work for the employee card. So there are some rules. Technically you can have more jobs under the same employee card, but you need to always get it approved by the ministry first. Okay, so the last question actually will be Subhash. Can we fill the green form in hand by writing or for a long-term residence permit? Yes, you can fill it online in the PDF, just in Adobe or something, or you can fill it in by hand. Definitely, I always do it on computer, because then I can always see what we filled in and I can reprint it again if needed. But if you fill it in hand, that's fine. You just need to use capital letters and readable and just make a copy, so you have a copy of what you submitted. You should also make a copy for the embassy for them to keep. So guys, thank you very much. That was the last question. Thank you for joining. Nimrod Hunter G, Hakan Kap, Shoukat Ali bin Abdul Salam, Samuel, Subhash, G Art Studio, all of you, thank you very much for joining. If you find this useful, please share my either this video or any other video, or just the channel in general, or our website movetoprague.com, because this is what we do for a living. We help people to move to the Czech Republic. So if it was helpful, please share, and see you again Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night, guys. Bye bye.